Good morning, ma'am. I'm Vincent Benedict G. Lacuna, and this is my explanation for the question number 15. This is the given or the materials needed. Cable A, cable B, and cable C. For the requirements of cable A, kailangan ng three classification of colors, which is 3 blue, and then 3 white, 2 red wires, and then for the cable B, 1 blue wires, 2 blue 2 white wires, and 1 red wire. And for the cable C, 2 blue wires, 1 white wire, and 2 red wires. And this is the needed to ito yung parang pinaka-output, yung 95 BN, 100 white, and then 80 red. We need to apply row elementary operation, which is kailangan natin i-arrange ito ng ganitong form in order to evaluate the cable cable A, cable B, cable C, which is represent X, Y, and Z. And then for our total output, this is what we call our constant in coefficient matrix or matrix, or this is called augmented matrix kasi nakasali yung lahat ng entry, which is kasali din yung constant values. And then for the represent of X, Y, and Z, inayos natin na parang matrix. Ito yung for the cable A, 3, 3, 2, which is ito. And for the cable B, 1, 2, 1, which is ito. And so for the cable C, 2, 1, 2. Ito. At for the what is called constant values is 90 by 180, which is this. Kailangan natin gawin itong row reduce echelon form, which is dapat ganito yung form. Kailangan natin gumawa ng isang leading entry, which is 5 watt. This na naka-diagonally align ng value of 1 like this. At an under and below, an up and below of the 5 watt of our 5 watt should be 0, which is this is ganitong form. Kailangan natin evaluate ito galing dito hanggang dito. So but first we need to make equation. We need to apply three rows of row elementary operation, which is interchange, scaling, and yung isa, interchange, scaling, and limutan ko na isa. And then this is our equation. First, this is our first equation. R1 is equals to 1/3 times R1. Ginamit ang ganitong equation in order to make 0. Para gawing 0 yung negative 3. Ito, yung may bilog. Wait lang. First pala ito yung pinaka-leading entry, gawin nating 1, which is negative 3 times row 1 and plus negative 3 times ginawang equivalent ng 1, which is nag-apply ng negative 3 in order to have leading entry of 1, which is kailangan number 1. And then next step is this equation, 1/3 times R1, which is lahat ng row 1 i-multiply mo sa 1/3. And this is the output. Ito pala, ito na, naging 1 na yung equivalent. And then lahat ng row 1 i-multiply mo sa 1/3. Yan, ito. At naging equivalent of 1. And then the next step is R2. R2 is equals to R2 minus 3 R1. Para maging 0 ito, we need to multiply negative 3. Ito, like this. Lahat ng R2, i-multiply mo ng negative 3 and then multiply sa R1. And this is, at ito yung naging output. Hindi magbabago yung row 1, row 3. Ito lang ang magbabago yung row 2. Because ito yung ating in-evaluate. Ito lang yung papakilamanan natin. Dahil ito yung gagawin nating 0. Next step is row 3 is equals to row 3 minus 2 R1. Row 3 na naman papakalaman natin. Hindi magbabago ang row 2 natin and row 1. Like, copy lang. Copy natin yung row 1, copy natin yung row 2. And then yung i-evaluate naman natin ngayon is ang row 3. Which is ganito ang equation na gagamitin natin. I-apply ito. Row 3 minus 2 times R1. Dahil ito yung equation natin ginamit in order to make it 0 sa baba nito. Dahil lahat ng below, lahat ng sa taas at sa baba ng ating pivot should be 0 in order to evaluate to simplest form. 0, and then the rest, i-apply mo rin siya sa lahat ng row. Ganito, like R3, 2 minus 2 times R1. O, di 0. And then, apply mo na naman ulit. R3, 1/3 minus 2 times R1 times 1/3 and then 1/3. And I mean, 1 minus 2 times R1 times 1 R1, I mean 1 minus 2 times 1/3 is equals to 1/3. Ganun lang, apply mo lang the rest. And then the next step is, naging 0 na to. Next step is, ito na naman ang gagawin nating 0. At ito naman ang ating gagamiting equation sa taas. Apply mo rin ulit sa row. And then, yung mag-change is ang row 1 lang. Ang row 2 and 3 ay copy. Gaya ng ginawa natin earlier. Next step is this equation. Ito na naman equation na to. R3 is equals to R3 minus 1/3 R2 in order to make it 0 again. Ito na naman. Yung row 3 na naman yung ating ma-manipulate. Yan ito. Row 3 na naman. And then copy. Copy again. Copy the row 2 o row 1 and 2. Walang magbabago. And then row 3 na naman evaluate natin para maging 0 ito. Baba ng pivot natin. And then next step is R1. R1 na naman yung ating i-evaluate. And this is the equation we need to use. R1 minus R3. Ay, ito sinasabi ko yung, kalimutan ko na yung isang rules, yung second rule nun eh. After ng interchange. And then scaling. Yun yung ating gagawin na kailangan natin mag-minus ng first and second, last row. To determine the right form. Kaya ito, row 1, yung row 1 natin ay sinubtract natin sa row 3. And then, yun ang magiging mukha ng row 1 natin. Ito na. And then, copy the row 2 and row 3. Like this. And then, ito na. At magiging output ng equation na to ay dito natin ilalagay. Row 1 minus row 3, yun, 1, tapos ganun to, ganun lang, the rest lang. And then, next equation, which is the last is, ang ating R2 na naman, ang ating papakalaman ng ating i-evaluate, which is the last step, which is the equation is R2 plus R3. Meaning, R2 natin, i-add natin sa R3. Like, for example, 0 plus 0, 0. 0 plus 0, 0. 0 plus 0, 1 plus 0, 1. And then, negative 1 plus 1, 0. And then, 15 plus 1, 20. And then, yun. Napunta na tayo sa hinahanap nating form, which is the row, reduced row echelon form, which is like this. Na diagonally align of our pivot, which is 1 and then 0. Ganito yung mukha ng ating hinahanap na sagot na dapat ganito ang sagot. And for our constant value is 15, 25, and which is our inahanap natin na value for the cable A, B, and C, which is X, Y, and Z is X is equals to 15, Y is equals to 20, and Z is equals to 15. Or cable A equals to 15, cable B equals to 20, and cable C equals to 15. For the item number 16 or question number 16, this is the equation. Negative 4x minus y minus 6z equals negative 39. Negative 9x plus 7y plus 4z equals 47. Negative 7x minus 6y 6y plus z equals to negative 52. In order to evaluate, we need to rearrange it augmented matrix form. Ganito ang mukha ng augmented matrix form. Bago tayo mag-apply ng mga equations, we need to arrange it an augmented matrix, which is kasali yung ating mga constant value right here. Ito, yan. Negative 1, ganun. Negative 4x for negative 4, negative 1 for negative y. Yan. And then next is, we need to apply, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, equation in order to make it sa simplest form, which is this. Katulad ng kanina, kailangan natin gawin na ganito in order to determine the value of x, y, and z for the constant value. Kailangan ganito din yung form. Ito yung required for the row elementary operation. Ganito dapat na form. Kailangan natin i-determine from this to this. And then, first equation. Ito yung ating i-apply. R1 over negative 4 to R1. So, yung ating i-evaluate ngayon is R1. Yung R1 natin, i-divide natin sa negative 4. And this, in order to our leading entry become to number 1. Divide to negative 4 to. So, kailangan natin i-divide ng negative 4 yung row 1 para ma-determine natin yung ating first leading entry na number 1, which is required. Ito yung kailangan natin gawing number 1. Kailangan natin yung value niya is 1, katulad ng kanina. Kasi sinasabi ni ma'am, kailangan our leading entry is number 1. Or which is ganito, dapat talaga ganito required, wala nang ibang sagot. And then ngayon na, negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. And then negative 4 divided negative 1, 0.25. And then negative 4 divides negative 6, 1.5. And then negative 4 divided negative 39, 9.75. Yun. I-evaluate natin is only row 1. And then copy the row 2 and row 3. Next equation is, dalawa yung apply natin para 2 at a time kaagad. Medyo mahaba kasi. Row 2 plus 9 times R1 equals to row 2, which is ang ating i-evaluate is ang row 2 na naman. Meaning row 2, ang ating row 2 is negative 9 plus 9 in order para maging 0 natin ang ating yun, gaya ng ulit pala sinasabi ko kanina, gagawin natin ulit na 0 to para maging ganitong form. Gagawin natin ulit na 0 yung row 2. And then together with the row 3, which is ito yung ginamit nating equation. Row 3 plus 7 times R1 is equals to row 3. I-evaluate din natin ang row 3 kasabay ng row 2. Para maging 0, dalawa kagad na formula yung ginamit natin. And then apply the rest. Apply na natin yung the rest sa lahat sa row. Lahat ng nasa row 2 and row 3. Like this, R2, negative 9 plus 9 R1 times 1 o negative 0. For the R2, 7 plus 9 times R1, 0.25, 9.25. Ganun lang. And then apply the rest. And then ganun din sa row 3. Para gawing 0 to, negative 7 to, di ba? We need to add 7 and multiply to row 1 in order to make it 0. R3, negative 7 plus 7, 0 times 1 is 0. 0 na. Ganun na. And then apply the rest. Yon, katulad ng ginawa dito sa equation na to. And then, nagawa na natin 0. Apply ulit tayo ng another equation in order to make it 1 sa row 2. Gawin natin 1. Kasi, kailangan natin gawin diagonal align, parang pag ganung align, ang ating 5 root, which is the value of 1 na kailangan na required. Kinakaganon. Like this, sasagot na to. And then, the equation that we need to apply is R2 all over 9.25 equals to R2. Kailangan natin i-evaluate dito is only R2. Para maging 1, kailangan natin i-divide sa 9.25 ang 9.25. And then, divide na naman natin 9.25 sa 17.5 and 134.75. At ito yung ating magiging sagot. Ang kailangan natin i-change lang is ang row 2 only. Copy the row 1 and row 3. Kasi yun lang salakay sa equation natin. And then, this is the answer. And then, next step, and next equation is row 1 minus 0.25 times R2 equals to row 1 and row 3 plus 4.25 R2 equals to row 3. And then 2 equation again. We need to use. Pagsabayin katulad ng ginawa natin kanina dito. In order to make it 0, ito at ang sa taas. Row 1. 0.25 dito, diba? Kailangan natin i-divide ng 0.25 and then multiply natin sa row 1, which is 1, o sa row 2. And then magiging 0 and then apply in the rest. The rest of the row. Row 1. Ito. And then ito yung magiging sagot. And then for the row 3, ito yung gagawin nating 0. We need to add it with 4.25 positive. Dahil ito ay negative. And then multiply natin sa row 2 which is 1. O, row 3 is negative 4.25 plus 4.25, 0 multiplied by 2, 1 equals to 0. And then, kung anong equation dito, yun na apply mo sa the rest. Ito yung sagot niya. Copy lang ang row 2 and then the row 1 and the row 3 are the 2 which we need to evaluate. Ito lang ating papalitan. Next equation. Malapit na tayo sa sagot. Nagawa na natin to. And then, row 3 ulit. Ito yung ating equation. Row 3 naman yung ating i-undergo. Row 3 all over 723 over 37 equals to row 3. Yung row 3 natin, ito. na kailangan natin i-divide sa fraction na 723 over 37 in order to make it 1. Ito. O, diba? Ito, 723/37, naging 1. Kailangan natin gawing 1 para ito, mag-align siya. Yun, nagawa na nating 1. And then, ito, 2,892 over 37 divided to 723/37 is equals to 4. And then, ito lang, row 3 lang mag-change. And then, copy the row 1 and row 2. Ito. And then, the last equation na para makuha na natin ang sagot is this. R1 minus 38 over 37 times R3 equals to R1. Ayan. And then, R2 minus 7 over 37, R3 equals to R2. R1 and R2 na naman pagsasabayan natin, which is magkahiwalay na equation. Ito yung kailangan nating palitan. R1 and R2. Ito, diba? Gawin nating 0 dapat yan. Gagawin nating 0 dapat yan. Dahil required. Kailangan nating gawing 0. So, the equation we need to use is this. R1, our R1 is 38 times 7. And then minus 38/37. And then times R3. Our R3 is 1. And then 0. R1, 38/37 minus 38/37 equals to 0. And then multiply mo sa 1 is 0. And then 0 na. And then apply the rest. Ito yung last nating step. And R1, our R1 is 2 minus 37/37 times 226/37. Ang sagot is 2. And then for the row 2, ito gagawin din nating 0 to. Katulad ng ginawa natin sa taas. Which is ang ating gagawin is row 2 is 737 minus 7 over 37 is 0. And then multiply mo sa 3 is 0 also. 0 times 1 is 0. And then, yun ang ating ilalagay dito. And then for the last step for the row 2 is, row 2 is 7 minus 7 over 37 times row 3, 4 equals to 7. Hindi, mali. Row 2 is 537 over 37 minus 7 over 37. And then multiply mo sa row 3, which is our row 3 is 4. And then magiging sagot is 7. Ito. Yan sa row 2. And then, ito na yung sagot. Nagawa na natin naka-align yung atong 5 volt. It's our leading entry, 1. And then the follow. And tapat sa lower left of our augmented matrix should be 0. And for our upper right of our augmented matrix should be 0 also. Ayun, ito na. And then naka-diagonal aligned yung ating 5 volt, which is the value of 1. Ayan. Then 0, 0, 0. And then this is the value of our constant, which is x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. Kundi ito, which are the x, y, and z. Ito yung ating hinahanap para ma-determine yung points which represent x, y, and z. At ito yung ating sagot. For the x of 1 or of 2, for the x of 2 is 7, x of 3 is 4. Or, for the x, our x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 7 and z equals to 4. And for the last item, 17. Number 17. This is our system of equation. Given system of equation. X plus y plus z minus w equals 6. 2x minus y plus 3z plus 4w minus negative 4. 4x plus 2y minus z minus w equals negative 13. Minus x, negative x minus 2y plus 4z plus 3w equals 12. Like we did earlier, I mean, kung ano yung ginawa natin kanina, diba? We need to translate or transform it to augmented matrix. Augmented matrix. We need to make it augmented matrix before we evaluate every row of it. From system of equation to augmented matrix. And this is, at ito yung magiging mukha. Kasama yung ating constant value. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, negative 1. And then, yan. Ito for the row 1, 1, 1, 1. Ito. For the row 2, ito. For the row 3, value of the row 3, this. For the value of row 4, ito. Yan. And then, next, gaya ng ginawa natin kanina, apply again ng equation para maging row reduced echelon form. Like this. Naka-diagonal line na value of 1 and then lower and upper should be 0. Left and lower left position is 0 and then for the upper right is 0 also. First equation we need to apply is this. Dalawang equation ulit yung ating in-apply, magkasabay. For the row 2, and then for the row 3. Copy the row 1 and row 4. Copy. Hindi. Row 3. Wait. Tatlong equation yung ginamit. Tatlong equation yung ginamit. Kung hindi lang natin papakalaman dito ang row 1 lang. Kaya, copy the row 1. Row 1. Copy. Row 2. Ito yung equation na gagamitin natin sa row 2. Row 2 minus 2R1 equals to row 2. Kailangan natin i-apply yung row 2 para maging 0 ito. Tatlo yung kagad naka-align dito yung row na to. Kailangan natin kagad gawing 0. Like this. Diba? 0 na to. Ito yung in-apply natin equation for the row 2 para maging 0. Kasi 2 kailangan natin mag-apply ng, kailangan natin i-multiply, evaluate sa row 2 minus 2 is equals to 0 times row 1 equals to 0. And then, apply the rest. I-apply nyo na sa mga sumusunod pa na value doon sa row 2. And ito yung magiging sagot. Negative 3, 1, 6, negative 16. Ito yung ating equation na ginamit ito. And for the row 3 naman ating i-evaluate. Negative 4 times R1. Kailangan natin evaluate. Kailangan natin i-multiply ang 4 sa negative 4 para maging 0. 0 and then multiply mo sa R1 equals to 0. Ayun, 0 na. And then apply ulit sa mga sumusunod na value dito sa row 3. Ayun, ito. And then ito yung magiging sagot. Negative 2, negative 5, 3, negative 37. And the last equation for the first step is R4 plus 1 times R1. Yung row 4 natin. Kaya kailangan natin gawin yung ito, negative 1 before. Kailangan natin gawing 0 which is negative 1. Row 4, negative 1 plus 1 and then times R1. Just the equation is, magiging equation ay ganito. Row 4 natin is negative 1 plus 1 times R1 is 1 and then magiging 0. And then, ganung step lang. Apply mo ulit sa mga sumusunod na value dito sa row 4 and then ito pala. Yan. At ang magiging sagot is negative 1, negative 5, 2, and 18. Ito na. Next step. R2, yung R2 natin, we need to divide it to negative 3. Negative 3. Para maging 1. Ito, yung row 2 natin. Kailangan natin divide sa negative 3 para maging 1. Which is required para maging, kasi diagonal, diba? Kaya sinabi ko kanina, kailangan natin ng value of 1. Our leading in 3, kailangan naka-follow ng diagonally. And the value, dapat yung value natin is 1. This is our pivot. What we call our pivot. Yan. Ganun. Ito. Yan. Ayun. Gagawin natin 1. Ito. Kailangan natin divide ng negative 3 para maging 1. Ayun, 1. And then divide negative 3. Yung mga susunod na values, i-divide mo din sa negative 3. Sa row 2. Negative 3 divide 1. Negative 3 divide 6. Negative 3 divide 16. At ito yung magiging sagot. Negative 1/3, negative 2, and negative 16 over 3. Row 2 lang yung papakalaman na natin dyan. I-copy na lang natin yung row 1, row 3, and row 4. Next equation. Ito na naman. Row 1 na naman yung ating i-evaluate today. Ngayon. Yan. Row 1 is equals to minus 1 times R2 equals to R1. Ito yung ating row 1 before. We need to evaluate it using this equation. R1 minus 1 times R2. Our R1 is 1 minus 1 natin. Minus 1 natin times R2 is 1 equals to 1. Ito, 0. Gagawin natin yung 0 to. Yan, diba? Sabi nga, diba? Kailangan sa row reduced echelon form, yung upper and lower should be 0. Yung value. Ayun, ginawa natin 0. That's ito yung equation na ginamit natin. And then, apply also the rest in the rows of this equation. Kuha na natin to. I-apply na natin din yung equation na to, yung row 1 na to, equation na to, sa mga susunod pang value dito sa row 1. And then, this is the answers. Ito yung ating row 1 before, and then this is our row 1 after using the equation. Ito. 1, 0, 4, 3, 1. 4 over 3, 1, 2 third. Next, kailangan din natin ipagsabay. Tatlong equation din pala ulit ang gagamitin natin gaya ng ginawa natin dito. And then row 3 ulit. Kailangan natin gawing 0 yung negative 2. Yung negative 2 kailangan natin gawing 0. So, we need to use equation this. Row 3 plus 2 times R2. Which is, our row 3 is negative 2 plus 2. Next 0 times R2. 1 equals to 0. And then, apply mo rin ulit lahat. Kung anong yung mga susunod na value dito, i-apply mo na rin yung equation na to to evaluate and also to determine the values. At ito yung naging sagot. It's our row 3 before and this is our row 3 after using the equation. Negative 17 over 3, negative 1, and negative 79 over 3. And then the next is our row 4. Row 4 naman natin. Yung negative 1 natin, gagawin natin 0. And then, kailangan natin gawin 0. We need to make an equation na gagawin natin 0 to. So, the equation that we need to use is R4 plus 1 times R2. Our R4 is negative 1 plus 1, 0 times R2, negative 2 equals to 0. And then, ganun din, na-apply mo na din sa mga susunod na values dito sa ating row 4, yung ganitong equation, para ma-determine yung values. And then, ito na yung sagot. This is our row 4 before, and then this is the row 4 after we use the equation. 4 over 3, 0, 70 over 3. Yun. And then, next step is R3 all over negative 17 over 3 equal